And leading our business meeting is the person who's at the top of our list currently. That is Matti Foster. If you would help me welcome Matti.
Well, good morning, fellow Toastmasters. The 2022 District 63 Council meeting will come to order. I am Matti Foster, your District Director and Presiding Officer at this meeting. Welcome, club officers and district staff, members, and guests. Before we get started, I would like to recognize the following members in attendance today are dignitaries. So if you're a dignitary, please raise your virtual hand so we can recognize you. Good deal. We have past district directors, Jean Coy, Kim Santan, immediate past district director, Stacy Thomas, past district director, Becky Beggerly, past region advisor, Stephen Shaner. We have our current Region 6 advisor, Karen Isaacs, past district director, Karen Davis, and the rest of the trio for this year. So thank you, dignitaries. For this meeting,
Matti, sir, I hate to do this, Matti. I just need to interrupt for a second. We've had a little bit of a snafu. We were supposed to open up breakout rooms for people to learn a little bit of education while this meeting was going on. And I don't think that we made that public. And I hate to stop you, sir, because you're doing great. But we do have breakout rooms. John, can you tell us about the breakout rooms real fast, sir? We have two of them, correct?
Two breakout rooms.
They should be open now. There's one for now, and then there's one for later, correct?
It's just the education session. Yes, education room. Currently, Barbara Sanders will be talking about completing your path. Then at 11, we'll have one about podcasting for Toastmasters. Apologize for not mentioning that earlier, Matti.
That's okay. John? Okay, for this meeting, we will ask everyone to stay on mute unless directed otherwise. Only voting delegates may participate in discussions. So as we go forward in our roles this year, it is vitally important that we keep the district mission in mind with everything we do. This includes the work that we do during this district council meeting. The district mission is to build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. We are still optimizing opportunities, adjusting to the hybrid club meeting format. However, by continuing online, our members remained connected for those who opted to meet online to continue their Toastmaster journey. One effective way to grow as a leader is to grow in the area of resilience, and it has been rewarding. We have learned a lot of new skills online. So far, we have chartered some new corporate clubs this year and an advanced club. 5 clubs are already distinguished or better, and several other clubs are very close. These are times that test true leaders, and it's up to you to adjust and bounce back, taking your club with you. Our club members look to us as leaders, and if we are positive, like Stephen Shaner just said, they will feed off that positive energy, and we can make a difference. You've received the agenda in advance via email, and without objection, the agenda is adopted. Nick, if you could post the agenda in the chat, that would be great, or Will. There's no objection. The agenda is adopted. Our officials for this meeting are Zoom Master, Will Davenport. Will is a member of the Central Communicators Toastmaster Club, club number 802. Our timer, Nick Sager. Nick is a member of Harpeth U and Advanced Toastmasters Pursuing Excellence. Our voting teller, Stacy Thomas. Stacy is a member of the Speaking Frankly, Downtown Dazzlers, and Advanced Toastmasters Pursuing Excellence. Our credentials chair is Becky Beggerly. Becky is a member of the Metroplex Motivators, club number 979738. Our parliamentarian is Lily Rowland. Lily is a member of Central Communicators, Speechmasters Advanced, and Fountain City. Please join me in welcoming Credentials Committee Chair Becky Beggerly to present the Credentials Committee report.
All right, now I'm unmuted. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Thank you, District Director Foster. Would like to give our report today. There are 64 eligible clubs in the district. Each club receives 2 votes, one for the club president and one for the vice president of education. To achieve the quorum, 1/3 of presidents and vice presidents of education of eligible clubs must be present or registered, which is 42. There are 123 club presidents and vice presidents represented. As such, we have achieved a quorum. There are also 19 district executive committee members represented. The district executive committee members do not count towards achieving a quorum. The total ballots are 127. If everyone votes, a simple majority would be 43. A 2/3 vote would be 86. Thank you. That is my report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Beggerly and members of the Credential Committee. If there are any questions on the credentials report, please type your name and club number into the chat at this time and wait to be acknowledged. Without objection, the credentials report will be adopted. Hearing no objection, the credentials report is adopted. A copy of the minutes were made available by email. Have all reviewed the minutes? If there is no objection, we will dispense with the reading of the minutes. Are there any amendments to the minutes? If so, please type them to the chat. So please, excuse me. Now we will explain the voting procedures and election rules for the meeting. And I would like to welcome Credentials Chair Becky Beggerly.
Thank you, District Director Foster. All club presidents, vice presidents of education, division and area directors, the trio and support staff known collectively as voting members, each carry 1 vote. All votes must be cast by these members. No proxies are allowed for online voting. District 63 is currently using Election Buddy as our online voting software. At the time of the election, each voting member will receive an email with instructions on accessing and casting their vote. The voting teller will monitor and report the results of the vote. According to Protocol 9.0, District Campaigns and Elections, Paragraph 11, Elections Subparagraph M, for contested positions, positions for which there is more than 1 candidate, the candidate receiving the majority of votes will be declared elected. If no candidate receives a majority of the votes, the candidate with the least number, the lowest number of votes, will be dropped and the voting members will vote again. In the event of a tie, the election shall be decided by lot. Also, in accordance to District Administrative Bylaws, Article 7, Subparagraph E, regarding nominations from the floor. Additional nominations of qualified eligible candidates may also be made from the floor at the annual district council meeting with the consent of the person nominated. Prior to running from the floor, a candidate for district director, program quality director, club growth director, or division director must have completed the district leadership committee's evaluation process in the same election cycle in which the candidate stands for election at the annual district council meeting for that specific role to be considered eligible. All floor candidates must declare their intent to run to the district director at least 7 days prior to the elections. Thank you, and back to you, District Director Foster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Beggerly. Now, please welcome 2021-2022 District Leadership Committee Chair, Stacy Thomas, to present the committee's report.
Thank you, Mr. District Director. The Leadership Committee this year consisted of one representative from each of the five divisions in addition to myself. We last met on Thursday, March the 9th, 2022, and would like to recommend the following candidates for election in the 2022 Spring Conference Business Meeting. For District Director, Kristen Phillips. For Program Quality Director, Ahmad Gillum. For Division C Director, Gay Halliburton. For Division D Director, Bert Copeland. The leadership team is also recommending that all members be assigned mentors for the following year. We think that this would greatly increase the success for these positions. That is my report. Thank you, Mr. District Director.
Thank you, Chairperson Thomas. Being on the District Leadership Committee requires an extensive time commitment and proper evaluation of candidate assessments and interviews. Thank you to all the District Leadership Committee members who devoted time to be a part of this very important process. Fellow Toastmasters, you have heard the report of the District Leadership Committee. For the office of District Director, DTM Kristen Phillips has been placed in nomination. There's one uncontested candidate for the office of District Director. Without objection, the chair will dispense with a secret ballot and instruct the secretary to cast a single ballot for the candidate in this uncontested office. If you have an objection, please type your name and your club's name into the chat at this time and wait to be acknowledged. Hearing no objection, we will dispense with the secret ballot and the secretary will cast a single ballot. I declare elected District Director, DTM Kristen Phillips. For the office of Program Quality Director, DTM Ahmad Gillum has been placed in nomination. There is one uncontested candidate for the office of Program Quality Director. Without objection, the chair will dispense with a secret ballot and instruct the secretary to cast a single ballot for the candidate in this uncontested office. If you have an objection, please type your name and your club's name into the chat at this time and wait to be acknowledged.
Ten seconds for people to type in their name and club number. Thank you.
Hearing no objection, we will dispense with the secret ballot and the secretary will cast a single ballot. I declare elected Program Quality Director, DTM Ahmad Gillum. For the office of Club Growth Director, No names have been placed in nomination. Are there any nominations for Club Growth Director? If you wish to nominate a member, please type your name into the chat at this time and wait to be acknowledged. Sandra Davidson, please state the name of your club and your club officer role.
One moment, I have to find her and unmute her.
Hi, my name is Sandra Davidson. I'm from the club Speak Up NASBA. I'm the club treasurer. I would like to nominate Jason Cook for the office of Club Growth Director.
Thank you. Candidates nominated from the floor must consent to the nomination and qualify for election. Jason Cook, please unmute your mic at this time. Do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Thank you. Jason Cook is entered into nomination for the office of Club Growth Director. Are there any other nominations for Club Growth Director? There's one uncontested candidate for the office of Club Growth Director. Without objection, the chair will dispense with the secret ballot and instruct the secretary to cast a single ballot for the candidate in this uncontested office. If you have an objection, please type your name and your club's name into the chat at this time and wait to be acknowledged. Hearing no objection, we will dispense with the secret ballot and the secretary will cast a single ballot. I declare elected Club Growth Director, DTM Jason Cook. For the office of Division C Director, Gay Halliburton has been placed in nomination. There is one uncontested candidate for the office of Division C Director. Without objection, the chair will dispense with a secret ballot and instruct the secretary to cast a single ballot for the candidate in this uncontested office. If you have an objection, please type your name and your club's name into the chat at this time and wait to be acknowledged. Hearing no objection, we will dispense with the secret ballot and the secretary will cast a single ballot. I declare elected Division C Director, Gay Halliburton. For the office of Division D Director, Bert Copeland has been placed into a nomination. There's one uncontested candidate for the office of Division D Director. Without objection, the chair will dispense with a secret ballot and instruct the secretary to cast a single ballot for the candidate in this uncontested office. If you have an objection, please type your name and your club's name into the chat at this time and wait to be acknowledged. Hearing no objection, we will dispense with the secret ballot and the secretary will cast a single ballot. I declare elected Division D Director, DTM Bert Copeland. Hold on just a second here. So we have the results for office. I declare elected District Director DTM Kristen Phillips, Program Quality Director DTM Ahmad Gillum, Club Growth Director DTM Jason Cook, Division C Director Gay Halliburton, Division D Director DTM Bert Copeland. The incoming District Director will appoint awesome district leaders to these positions: Public Relations Manager, Administration Manager, Finance Manager, Area Directors, and additional Division Directors. Thank you. Now, please join me in welcoming Don Biddick to present the Club Alignment Report for next year with committee members Kim Santan, Nick Sager, and Stacy Thomas.
Thank you so much, Mr. District Director Foster. Appreciate the work that you've been doing today. Thank you so much. If I may ask Nick Sager to pull up our PowerPoint presentation, and then I would like to turn over the initial discussion to distinguished Toastmaster and past District Director Kim Santan to get us started.
Well, good morning, District 63. Thank you for joining us for the business meeting and our presentation on the district realignment. We did have this realignment reviewed by the district trio and also posted it on our website, but we do want to give you a brief overview of our recommendations. Next slide, Nick. The first thing we wanted to make sure that you understood was that our recommendations are in line with policy 7.0, district structure and club assignments. The divisions must have a minimum of 3 areas. Areas must consist of 4 to 6 clubs. If any area has 3 clubs on July 1st, we can have that as long as there's an effort to charter a 4th club. Next slide. Our current alignment has some concerns. We want to make sure we do adhere to policy 7.0. We currently have 6 areas that have less than 4 clubs. We have 5 areas with 3 clubs and 1 area with 2 clubs. We also have 13 clubs that are currently suspended with 0 members. So based on our current alignment, we are not in compliance with policy 7.0. We also want to make sure that we have a sustainability for our district area and divisions. We currently have 1 division with 5 areas, 2 divisions with 4 areas, and 2 divisions with 3 areas. So if we do nothing and we keep the structure the way it is, we are in a position that we would lose 6 areas and 2 divisions. We also understand that there are often challenges with obtaining district leaders. We have open area and division director positions. So if we do some realignment, we can reduce the number of area and division directors that we need. Over to you, Nick.
There were a lot of factors at play when trying to realign our districts or district into divisions and areas, not the least of which Toastmasters recommendations, and also just the current landscape given the pandemic and the new normal of hybrid and online meetings. Many of you received a survey. I believe we sent it to presidents and VPEs of all the clubs in D63, asking what you projected the makeup of your club to be with regard to online, hybrid, and in person. And those results, as well as what the every club's website page on toastmasters.org said played a lot into our first and primary criteria of how clubs should be aligned. If you were going to be in person only, it would be very important to make geographic decisions. If you're going to be online only, geography doesn't play as much of a factor. Similarly, regarding the sustainability that Kim mentioned, the number of members and DCP points played a lot into the sustainability consideration of clubs and their areas as well as their divisions. It was very important for us to pick and allocate very strong clubs, very resilient clubs, and clubs that were struggling to be evenly distributed so that no area had a bulk of clubs with a lot of members and a lot of DCP points, and other areas that had were comprised nearly only of struggling clubs. So we made sure that all the areas that we resulted with had at least one strong club, and every area had at least one struggling club to kind of even things out, as well as give our area directors an even chance at becoming distinguished themselves as area directors. You know, just as the DCP program allows for clubs to be distinguished, area directors have an opportunity to make their area distinguished as well as divisions. And we wanted to give everyone a chance there. Geography did come into play. It was somewhat of an afterthought though. After we allocated all the things, we took a look at the map to see how geography landed. And if we could make adjustments to make it more geographically friendly, we did so. Also, we wanted to, as much as possible, limit the amount of change we introduced. With all of the changes that were happening that we couldn't control, such as clubs suspending, we knew change would be necessary, but we wanted to limit it as much as possible. And that also played into our decisions. I'm ready for the next slide. I believe that's either Kim or Don, but here it comes.
Thank you so much, Nick. Appreciate that. To give everyone a little bit more background on our decisions, in the past, some of you old timers may know that geography usually is #1 consideration. That is not the case this year, as Nick alluded to. So to run this idea by someone at World Headquarters first made sense. We ran this concept by a couple of folks at World Headquarters and explained to them how, based on our surveys, most of our clubs are hybrid or virtual. And so we lowered the concept of geography being a main consideration. They were totally on board with this. We presented it to the trio. As Kim said, we presented it to the council, the district council. We recorded it, posted this PowerPoint and that recording on our district website. Hopefully many of you have had a chance to look at those. I want to add a couple of keys to this before we start talking about this. First and foremost, you will see some drastic changes in some respects, as Nick alluded to, in some of our divisions, but not necessarily Division B. We want to make sure everyone understands that nothing at all will change with the way you are meeting. If you are having joint meetings, continue to have joint meetings. If you are meeting as you are now, face-to-face, which not many clubs are, hybrid or virtual, continue doing it that way as well. But whatever you're doing in your meetings right now, continue to do it. It will not be affected by this. A couple of other things. We wanted to realign in an orderly manner, as Kim said, before we were forced to by World Headquarters. And at that time, we would have had to scramble. So we wanted to do this in an orderly manner. And what you might see here, we also took the opportunity just to clean up some numberings systems in our district and sort of align it with each of the divisions as well. And we are aligned now for growth, and you'll see that here in just a minute. And it's my understanding that Ahmad is doing an amazing job with our growth right now. After this is presented and hopefully voted on, Ahmad and the trio will have an opportunity to start sliding those new clubs into where they think they should be. One of the side benefits from moving some clubs around our district was that now we have new networking opportunities for our clubs and our areas and our divisions, especially in the areas of council meetings. You may get to meet some new people across the district in your council meetings now. You'll also get to meet some new people in our contests and some makeup officer trainings. So that was a side benefit of this as well. So let's go ahead and start talking about the details. Here is our proposed realignment from an area structure standpoint, as what you just saw. Let's talk about Division B here. Division B really didn't have as many changes as we thought they may have. We shuffled around a couple clubs from one area to another. We renamed a couple of the areas as well to be consistent. And this is what we're looking at right now with the concept that Nick talked about, trying to even out all the areas and level the playing field for area and division directors to have an opportunity to become distinguished. So here is Area B, not many changes here.
And Dawn, I might just add, if anyone's wondering what IP means in parentheses, those clubs have advised us that they are going to be in person only.
Yes, thank you, Kim. One of the best things that the committee was able to do was include Stacy Thomas in our discussions, because whatever we proposed to the district would have a play into her recruiting for district leaders. So Stacy had a lot of contributions in this presentation as well. I just wanted to state that at this point. You'll see a new club being slotted in Area 23 there, Blue Diamond. And we're excited about having that new club there. So Nick, let's go to Division C. Division C is a division that we had a lot of opportunities to bring in some new clubs from around the district. As you saw on one of the earlier screens, Division F has been folded into other divisions. Some of the clubs ended up here, some ended up in D and E. So you'll see some strange things here. You'll see some Cookeville clubs, some Nashville clubs in Division C now. But these are clubs that said they're meeting hybrid or virtually next year. So really doesn't play into where you're at this point. So we've got a lot of strong clubs now in Division C, stronger clubs, I should say, not strong clubs. We have an additional 2 or 3 stronger clubs in Division C to bring them up at a level playing field with the other divisions. You'll see another new club slated there in Area 32, and I hope I pronounced this correctly, Santa Fe or Santa Fe. So we did take into consideration some very recent charterings or about to be chartered clubs. Okay, if we could go to Division D now. Here's Division D. Here are our proposals for Division D. We've got some clubs that have shifted around from D, E, and F in here as well. We have a new club there slotted for Area 42, Tractor Supply. Okay, if we could go to Division E, Nick. Here's Division E. Same thing with Division D. We absorbed some clubs from F and slid over some clubs from D into Division E as well. As you can see, all of our divisions now have 4 areas. All of our areas have either 4 or 5 clubs. We are very much in compliance now with Protocol 7.0, as Kim stated earlier, and we are set in a beautiful position for future growth as well. Ideally, we would like to see an addition of Division A come back and Division F, but for the strength and the support of our district and our members right now, current and future, this is the best proposal that we could come up with.
Yeah,
Nick, if you could,
even though
go ahead.
we can come to the next slide here, but even though, we stated geography didn't play much into it, the divisions are quite geographic. B ends up being, all of East Tennessee. D is North Nashville. Wait, I got that backwards. E is North Nashville. D is South Nashville, and then C is that Southeast Chattanooga kind of area. So that it does work out somewhat nicely there.
Yes, thank you, Nick. And Nick was a master at slotting all these clubs on graphs for us to visualize during our meeting. So a lot of compliments go to Nick, and a lot of compliments go to Kim for helping to get all of this data together. Okay,
And I
we would
use
like,
more than one.
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I
No,
was
go
just going
ahead.
to say, we can open this up to questions. We've had some questions by the trio, and hopefully we answer them to their satisfaction. Some questions from the council. They've been posted out there. So are there any questions right now from the general audience here?
So we're having some questions to go back. Yeah. Thank you.
Are there any, Becky, I see you asked that question. Is there a particular division you'd like to see, or would you like to see where your club landed?
Yes, Nick, I can't see anything about where we are. We can only see a couple at a time on each side.
Right.
So there's a couple of rows only, and I didn't see where we landed. So we're in 31 in Division C.
Correct. That was a bit of a strain. That what this works out to be is, Chattanooga, the northwest section of Division C ends up being the southeast area of Nashville. Kind of a lot of the clubs along Interstate 24. So an area director who's based in Chattanooga, if they were very motivated and they wanted to visit in person a hybrid club, they could just take 24 and do that, but they wouldn't be obligated to, right? They can do area visits virtually if the club meets virtually. Looking at the chat, does anyone want to see another division, or if they call out their club, we can probably find it and zero in on where they landed as well. We're also open to more generic questions. Division D coming up. Here you go, Alicia. I see your question, Susan. I'm going to linger on Division D for a little bit, but I believe Diagnosis landed here as well in Area 40. The line between North Nashville and South Nashville is a little blurry, but largely clubs directly east of Nashville were bucketed into the South Nashville section.
Yes, and I see a question from Susan about Diagnosis being in person. Yes, we took that into consideration. There were about, I think, 7 or 8 clubs who said they were in person or going to be in person next year. So with the help of Stacy, we did organize them to be geographically located so the area director could make those visits without much complexity.
There was also a question on the Metro Leaders Club and that they're about to fold, and we did know that they were about to fold, which is why that area is showing 6 clubs in the new club of Tractor Supply. But at the time we presented this, the paperwork had not been turned into world headquarters, so they were still showing as active.
And Kim, that's a really good point, because I don't think I mentioned that. We wanted to take into consideration some clubs that we were afraid were going to fold. They were at 0 members, et cetera, they're struggling. So that's why you have some areas with 5 or 6 clubs. The areas with 4, we felt pretty comfortable that those 4 were strong enough to be by themselves. And if we lost one, it put us to 3, but we really didn't have that concern with those areas.
And Don, could you address, or one of you address the contests? Were contests taken into account, and also how the contest will be conducted next year?
Yeah, absolutely. So having so many clubs who said they were going to meet virtually or hybrid, we've made the recommendation that we have our contest virtually next year. And another reason for that, and I think this may be the trump card here, not President Trump, but the Trump card here. A lot of our clubs, since they've been virtual, have been bringing in members from outside of our district, outside of our country. I know our club just had a person join from India, from Sri Lanka. We really can't have face-to-face contests in situations like that. So that's another reason why we went virtual on our contest for that reason. We wanted to give everybody an opportunity to compete, and we do not see virtual meetings or hybrid meetings going away anytime soon for the next year or two. Stacy, did that cover your questions, or is there something I missed?
Yes, that did, Don. I know that there are a number of people who compete and are concerned about which area they're in and where they're competing at. And I think the team took that into consideration when they were trying to line up clubs.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's no offense to our new contestants in our contest, but we do have a handful of historically pretty strong contestants. And we did take that into consideration. We didn't want to put them all in one area, so to speak.
And the same thing for division leaders. When we were recruiting area directors, though we tried to assign them, as we have done in the past, to the area in which their home club resides. That may mean that you will be an area director virtually for another area in another division than the one you're in, let's say, for instance. If a club is meeting in person only, we are recruiting specifically from that area so that the area director will be local and we'll be able to attend those clubs in person as well.
Thank you. And I see a note out there from Danny Sapp. Thank you, Danny. Danny asked if there are clubs that are listed as hybrid or virtual on our list, but they are actually in person. Should that be changed? Keep in mind that we highlighted the in-person clubs based on that survey that we sent out. If we didn't know they were face-to-face, it wouldn't have shown up on this spreadsheet. But yes, absolutely. We would like to know instances of that, and we can adjust and update this as appropriate. Absolutely.
Thank you, Kim. So Kim just put this very PowerPoint in the chat, so you all are free to peruse at your leisure. That spares me a lot of clicking. Thank you. I will still honor the request here and go to, no, I missed it. So Division B, I think Mount Juliet Club probably landed in, was it D?
I think they were in E. Mount Juliet, area 50.
There we go. So there you go, Jason. And now I'm going to B for Catherine McConkey. Yeah, we had a lot of fun geeking out on spreadsheets and maps. It was fun.
The last thing I want to say about this PowerPoint for everybody, and the old timers will know this, a lot of times in the past when the alignment committee would present their report, you would see lines that showed where one club moved from to another area, et cetera, et cetera. With the changes that we made, especially in divisions B, C, and D, we thought that would just muddy the waters, and we did not want to present it that way. We wanted to keep it clean and just explain our rationale for doing this, not just our rationale, but the alignment with Protocol 7.0 as well.
I see a question from Chris Goldman about a map of District 63. I think I've seen that on the site. Oop, that's not what I want to share. And I know we made some maps to help us with our decisions, but I don't know that we made one for presenting.
But we could take that away as a lesson learned and maybe post something out on the district website after this.
Oh, thanks, Doris. I like your comment.
Wow, that's high praise.
Yeah. Well, this was an amazing team. I was so honored to work with Nick and Kim and Stacy when she did join us. I mean, the work that they put in. We had months and months of meetings together. We went in one direction, then we'd shift, go into another direction. And Nick always brought us back together. Nick always brought us back to that linear graph, right? That straight line. And so thank you, Nick, for that. And yeah, the committee worked really hard.
I think I would recommend turning it back to Matti, Dawn.
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting a lot of praise. Don't feel like you have to stop putting praise in the chat box. We would welcome that. But seriously, we think this is going to set up for success for years to come here in our district. So on behalf of the committee, I would like to turn the meeting back over to control of the meeting back over to our current district director, Matti Foster. Thank you so much for allowing us to present this.
Well, thank you, Chairperson Biddick and the members of the Realignment Committee. So do I hear now a motion to the proposed realignment?
So moved.
Well, please type your name and club number into the chat and wait to be acknowledged. Stephen Shaner. Would you like to share your motion?
I move we accept the realignment as presented.
Is there a second to the motion? Please type your name and club number into the chat and wait to be acknowledged. Sharon Burlingame.
I'd like to second the motion.
Are we ready for the question? The question of the motion to accept the proposed realignment. So all those in favor of the motion, please go to your voting software in the link that you have received and vote now. All those opposed, please vote now.
Matti, while this is taking place, I wanted to let everyone know that there was a bit of a breakout room configuration snafu, and the breakout room attendees will be joining us briefly while we reconfigure it. We might need a moment or two to do that, but it should only take a moment or two. If you search your email for the word vote, it might come up pretty quick. It should say something like vote now. And it'll be from Election Buddy The link in your email will be secure.electionbuddy.com/a bunch of gobbledygook. And that gobbledygook is unique to you. So don't share that link. Marty, which club officers should be receiving the election buddy link?
President and the VPE.
Thank you.
Hey, Monty, I think that maybe they might have gotten an email from me this morning with the documents that might be a little confusing. And that's why I put the information in the chat. So
Folks are going to be joining us from the education room any minute now.
Well, we have received a quorum of votes. I know there's still some people trying to get a vote, and we definitely want to hear everyone's voice. But we do have a majority vote. And we have the results to the motion of the proposed alignment with 49 votes, yes, and no votes. No, I declare the proposed alignment adopted. The next agenda item is some additional reports from our DEC. Please join me in welcoming Jason Cook, DTM, to present the financial report.
Thank you, Mr. District Director. It's an honor to be with you all today. Please forgive me as I'm on a mobile device and in the middle of pulling up a couple of different reports. There, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the district reserve statement ending March 31st is what I'm going to report from. So our balance as of February 28th of this year was $87,000 and $87,010.67 in our district reserve account. We had 589 renewals, 62 new members. The total of charges was $4,161.98. Total credits, $7,068.89. Just a few more highlights to cover. Membership revenue year to date, $21,810.05. Product orders year to date, $1,564.19. Checks and wires year to date, $9,490.98. And allocations year to date, $1,031.04. The ending balance as of March 31st was $89,917.58. Back to you, District Director.
Thank you, Jason. Please join me in welcoming our PRM, Sonia Van Hook, to present the Public Relation Manager Report.
Thank you, Matti. It is my honor to present this report. We have two goals in our department: to engage current members and to recruit new members. We have made several posts in all the social media sites. The newsletter goes out twice a month, and we have the standard Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn and Instagram social media accounts. And we have our website. I'd like to thank Stephen Shaner for helping us update the post on our website. We have our YouTube channel. Bert Copeland is helping us with the YouTube. And I would like to thank my assistant, Alicia Kloppenberg, who established the new TikTok account. Under Facebook, we're reaching about 600 people. Under Twitter, about 500. LinkedIn, about 400. Instagram, about 100 people, and several thousand on our website. YouTube has about 165 visits. And with TikTok, we have over 1,000. And that really does surprise me that there's that many people who would listen to a recording from someone they don't know, reading the names of winners for people who they don't know. But that has over 1,000 people. Our new, we have our Rotary campaign that is going on. Of course, Toastmasters has joined with Rotary, and we're very excited about that campaign. We have a Chamber of Commerce campaign currently going on. And we have the district flyers, the Who Me series that were created by a group of people. I want to thank everybody who helped in that endeavor. And then we have our Meet Up campaign. Several things are going on. Hopefully we're seeing some wonderful reactions to the social media. And back to you, Matti.
Thank you, PRM Sonia. Please join me in welcoming our Club Growth Director, Ahmad Gillum, to present the Club Growth Director Report.
Yes, thank you, Mr. District Director, fellow Toastmasters, dignitaries. We have exciting things going on in Club Growth. As you can see on the presentation, we have currently chartered 3 clubs. The newest one chartered less than 10 days ago, which is SSR Toastmasters. We are projecting at least another 3 to 5 that could possibly charter between now and June 30th. I am working on the teams, assembling those for the sponsors and mentors, because as you know, and as you've seen in the presentation, some of these new clubs are chartering in-person only meetings, and some of them are doing hybrid and or online only. So the teams are going to be a little bit different if it's going to be in-person versus online. So as you can see, we've got a lot that is going on as far as our new clubs go. And then we also have a few clubs that are in the process that are meeting right now that are trying to get to charter strength as well. Those might get to full charter strength by June 30th, but those might need a little bit longer. So as you can see, we got a lot going on in Club Growth. If you can help, and if you would like to help, please reach out to myself or Jason, and we will go ahead and get you in whatever place that you would like to be comfortable in. Back to you, Mr. District Director.
Thank you, CGD Ahmad. And please join me in welcoming our Program Quality Director, Kristen Phillips, to present the Program Quality Report.
Thank you so much, Mr. District Director. I hope everybody is enjoying spring conference so far. Really hope so. It took a village, literally, to get this spring conference off the ground. We've been working on this now for at least 6 months. So this is our last big hoorah of the year, being our conference, but that doesn't mean that training and development won't keep on continuing. We still have the end of the Toastmasters year. So for this last year, we did TLI back in June. We'll probably do it again this June before the 7/1 start date of the officers. We had a wonderful fall summit, and we had great keynote speakers, educational sessions, and of course our district awards. Winter TLI was pretty good too. And now our spring conference. So this afternoon, we've got 2 more contests. We've got a couple of more educational sessions. We have a wonderful 4th keynote speaker this afternoon. You won't want to miss it. And our international contest is this evening. You definitely don't want to miss it. If you want to offer any sort of educational sessions between now and the end of the Toastmasters year, feel free to reach out to me. We can set something up for the district. Mr. District Director.
Thank you, PQD Kristen. And thank you to all who have created some excitement for our district. And great job so far of persistent without exception. You all have done a great job getting the district moving forward. You know, I loved hearing Nicole Greer's vibrant speech, to get lit. Sometimes we just have good intentions and just don't execute. We have all heard the saying, real leaders don't make excuses. And Horst Schultz is famously known for saying, leaders have forfeited their right to make excuses. So each of us have something to learn from the others and something to teach in return. What a year it has been. Last April, I described my focus to be a champion, using the definition of an ardent supporter of a cause. And we are all on a mission. Our district mission, we build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. Now I'd like to speak about the current status in our district, as well as to recognize the fantastic District Executive Committee. I want to share some calendar highlights of the year, some progress toward meeting goals, and some district goals for future review, and then some announcements. The district began the fiscal year with 75 paid clubs, but has suffered the suspension and dissolution of multiple clubs throughout the year, and projected to end the year with the loss of a significant amount of clubs. Now, this happened in most districts. We started with a base of 75, and paid today is 65. Now that's down 13.3%. But the district continues to drive its club chartering efforts. We have identified potential leads and have been working with members in the district to conduct these demo meetings. Our member today is base was 2610. Today is 2207. That's down a little over 15%. But we have 5 distinguished clubs to date already, and several other clubs on the brink of getting their distinguished status. Now, the DEC consists of 3 trio members, 5 division directors, 14 area directors, 3 managers, and 17 other support roles. And that's not even including all the committees and subcommittees that we have in our district that are serving our members. My thanks go out to these 42 volunteers supporting our vast district. Now, the trio, we have met almost every week via the Zoom virtual platform. And I really enjoy meeting with this group, Kristen and Ahmad. And next year, Kristen, Ahmad, and Jason are excited and determined to continue our district mission, and you're in good hands. Our managers this year have been top-notch and been very responsive. Here's some photos of our Division B leaders in our East Tennessee area. Here's some Division C leaders in our Chattanooga area. Now notice we were needing some area directors. If you're interested in being an area director, contact District Director-elect Kristen Phillips. The 1 year of serving in this role can be a very fun one. Division D in Nashville area. This group was nicknamed Nick and the Angels, and they have been very busy. Division E leadership in Nashville area. Now, this division puts out some excellent newsletters with recognition and division news. And Bert O. Copeland stepped in this year mid-year for the Division F. Division F clubs have been realigned according to our new alignment. So it will give an opportunity to meet new people. Now, this committee did a lot of analytical work to propose the alignment of our district that will put us on a path to success. I just want to go over a few calendar highlights. In June, we had Region 6 advisor Karen Isaacs present one of the keynotes. We also had district officer virtual training. Now, this consisted of several weekends of virtual training. In August, we had a virtual Toastmasters International Convention. September, we had a district council meeting. In October, we had our virtual fall summit, where we recognized our members with an awards banquet. November, the virtual speech contest. December, we had our virtual winter TLI. And in January, we had some more trio virtual training. And this April, we have our annual conference. And this May, for you area directors, get the area director visit report submitted before that May 31st deadline. It's very important to get it in before that deadline because you will not have access to the form after that. And then here in June, we're going to start over with a new leadership team. Now, here's some progress toward meeting goals. We chartered 3 clubs since 7/1/21 and on the verge of chartering several more clubs by the end of the district fiscal year. We have supported our clubs with resources and best practices to sustain a hybrid meeting platform. We've improved our Pathways adoption rate, and we encourage our members to give mentors to our newer members and get them started with Pathways. And we also proposed mentors for district officer positions. Now, all of the district roles and even club roles should prepare for the successful completion of your term. and develop a transition plan to prepare the incoming officer for success. Share your best practices and resources to address challenges you have identified. Finish strong and facilitate the handoff. Now, here's something that sometimes we forget. Having fun and experiencing enjoyment were identified as a proven way to build a socially connected learning environment. We often forget this when we let protocols, procedures, and policies dominate our meetings. If our members are not having fun, they won't attend. And if they are not present, they are not gaining confidence, strengthening their presentation skills, and taking the opportunity to practice. Is it time to mix things up? Think about what makes people stay: an environment of fun and learning. Now, here's some really good news, and everyone should be really excited about it. Experience the quintessential public speaking and storytelling event of the year. Toastmasters International announces its first hybrid convention to be hosted in the Music City of the United States, Nashville, Tennessee, our own backyard. Now, you'll be able to access it both in person and through an online platform. Are you ready for the excitement? Look forward to this hybrid event hosted at the Gaylord Opryland Resort and Convention Center in Nashville, Tennessee, from Wednesday, August 17th through Saturday, August 20th. Count on being part of all the traditional and some new highlights. Tune into 16 education sessions across 4 learning tracks. So get ready for registration, which will open in May. I also have another announcement that you have received in an email. The Helping Hands host district chair for this event is our very own past international director and current president of the newly formed Advanced Toastmasters Pursuing Excellence, Don Biddick. Now, he is tasked with putting together 13 committee chairs and oversee the activities of over 100 volunteers in various roles at the convention. The email sent out to all members in our district will have additional information about ways for you to get involved. And that ends my report. We're at 11:20, and I kind of let the division directors know that they were not going to have to present their reports at this meeting, even though we do have some time left. Are there any division directors that would like to present their report? Please type so in the chat. So as we have completed our business, unless there is an objection, the 2022 District 63 Council meeting will be adjourned. There is no objection. The meeting is adjourned.